Skip it up and down.
Oh, the game's gone, mate. What are you talking about? Yo guys, it's your boy, relatively maintained Trim Niren here, and you are watching FTW. This of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. Now what's been going on in the world this week? Well, YouTuber Nico Omalana is continuing his quest to become the Mayor of London.
Your future London mayor.
Now, really, I think we should be pumping resources into...
Shush, no.
I said pumping resources into... West Ham midfielder Declan Rice has put his support forward for the cause. I don't know how. What's going on here? I'll be voting for him as well, as long as his manifesto includes ending my suffering in it. But from the NDL to the EDL now. And Chelsea drew their semi-final first leg game against Real Madrid 1-1 away from home. I'll be honest, Real Madrid were poor and I'm pretty sure their goal came from their only shot on target in the match. We're still at a point in the competition where they're frauding their way through, but we'll see the real them soon enough. A well-taken Christian Pulisic finish was cancelled out by a Karim Benzema volley, but Timo Werner's misses were the key talking point in this one. He couldn't find a net in a fishing boat. If he was in a 1v1 against Jeremy Lynch would be the best on-the-ball player there.
This one's for the SWAT squad out there.
Now, if you'd like to give me your title, please. Okay, I won the German Cup. No, I mean, as in title, like, so you're a Mrs., for example. Oh, no, we're not married, so I'm actually a miss. And it's not every now and again either. This man has a back catalogue. You know it's bad when Thiago Silva's wife is calling him out on Instagram for it.
I don't know why my attackant don't do the goal.
Imagine this was Sky Analysis.
Do the goal.
To be fair to Timo, not many people saw, but Eden Hazard was actually in the crowd, and his buttocks created some sort of gravitational field towards. Speaking of which, it was an opportunity for Eden Hazard to impress against his former side. A man said this was him entering the fray against Chelsea. This is outrageous. That's it. This man's done out now. You're not seeing him for another 14 months. That's both his hamstrings gone. The physio department is in ruins. It's a finely poised tie ahead of the second leg, which Marcelo is due to miss. And that's because he's on duty for the Real Madrid presidential elections. Perhaps one of the weirdest reasons to miss a Champions League semi-final. Surely one of the stipulations for people getting chosen for this should be people who aren't flipping playing in their Champions League semi-final. He should be providing defensive balance, not counting opposition ballots. Meanwhile, in the other Champions League semi-final, Manchester City came back from 1-0 down to beat Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 at the Parc des Princes. PSG's goal came through an early Marquinhos header before Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez scored for Manchester City. Phil Foden tweeted at Kylian Mbappe after the quarterfinals and then actually backed the beef in the game.
You don't even look comfortable in your own ends. Don't look comfortable. I'm around.
To be honest, at 1-0 down, I'm shocked Pep Guardiola didn't start making Edison an inverted roaming left wing back. PSG lost their heads in the second leg, quitting halfway through. How French. And Riyad Mahrez's 70th minute free kick that completed the comeback made its way through PSG's wall. Not much of a wall. At best, more of a hedge-esque entity. This is in fact the wall in question. I feel bad for Neymar. After an impressive first half, the guy just got kicked about the gaff. He'll be leaving the stadium in a slightly sorry state. It's alright, I'm sure his sister will kiss it better for him. Though speaking of challenges, and Idrissa Gueye's red card worthy tackle was not really up there with the best. What was he aiming for? Gundogan's hit? To be honest, I just find it crazy that at no point did PSG think to bring Kylian Mbappe on. Oh wait, he was on in his Farmers League tweet from last season has not particularly aged well, but overall it was a fantastic game. The quality on show in this one was unbelievable, and overall it's been a very positive week for Manchester City as they beat Spurs 1-0 in the Carabao Cup Final on the weekend.
But Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
How many times are they gonna win this flipping trophy? They're basically charging rent on it at this point. A dismal performance from Super League Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur. Top Spur.
No.
What's that?
I mean, it's not particularly surprising, is it? Yet another final defeat for Tottenham, and Mesut Ozil was quick to remind them of that fact. It's a shithousery award for the former Arsenal midfielder. The Dulux admin must have been loving life back at home. Meanwhile, Heung-min Son was left crying at full time. Gareth Bale next to him, not giving a singular shit. The only clubs he truly cares about are back in his golf cart. It's okay, Son. It's only the Red Bull Bonanza Trophy. The E-Numbers Invitational Division. It was one-sided domination, though, from Manchester City. This game was ridiculous. The possession stats were truly outrageous. It was so bad in the first half that you could argue Spurs were losing the game 0-0. It was a trial match as well to get a few thousand fans into the game at Wembley. Spurs fans turned up and needed binoculars to see the action out on the pitch. It was a baptism of fire for caretaker Tottenham manager Ryan Mason, and Sky decided to do him dirty for absolutely no reason whatsoever with this managerial comparison to Pep Guardiola.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
I mean, it was a baffling decision to sack Jose Mourinho just a matter of days before this final in the first place. One Tottenham fan compared it to sacking Arsene Wenger and then hiring Frimpong as his replacement. I mean, they played the game with 13 men behind the ball. The kit man was there at centre-back as well. Jose Mourinho could have done that. You didn't need to change the manager. Tottenham's long-time servants, the likes of Dele Alli, Harry Kane, were supposedly hungry for silverware back in 2016. They're gonna be starving at this point. Don't let Marcus Rashford get wind of this. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Phil Foden now has more major trophies than Leeds United do. He's 20. Sergio Reguilon summed up the Tottenham performance by, for some reason, just letting the ball go out of play in the first half. And if he can leave that, then he can leave anything and anybody. And a personal message to his girlfriend, look, I personally wouldn't do that to you, so you're a sweet one. I wouldn't, look, I'm just saying I'm available. Meanwhile, in the Premier League... No, I can't take this anymore. I'm not having it again. What are we even doing here? Do you even like garden bowls? Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I come here to chill with my family, but what's wrong with you, man? Liverpool Football Club threw away 3 points in the dying moments of a football match once again, this time against Newcastle United this week. Callum Wilson thought he'd rescued Newcastle a point before a dodgy handball decision cancelled it out, only for Joe Willock to then equalise in the 94th minute. Roberto Firmino's reaction summed it all up. We've conceded 2 equalisers in 2 minutes. How do you even manage to do that? We're getting creative with our own stupidity at this point.
You've already got away with it a minute ago, and there you are yet again. Have another one. Have another one.
We missed gilt edge opportunities again. Sadio Mane couldn't even finish his breakfast. Joe Willock has saved these lot again. Arsenal's best player plays for Newcastle United. Honestly, we don't deserve to be in Europe. And really and truly, the disallowed goal was never a handball. I can't wait to see us face the club that finished 3rd in the Estonian Premier Division next year in the Conference League. Over at Manchester City again, and Scott Carson produced this filthy nutmeg in training. If you're John Stones, you've got to go, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was convinced that given the attacking natures of both Leeds United and Manchester United, there was simply no way that Premier League game was going to end 0-0. And it's footballing knowledge like this that proves why he's just one of the greatest PE teachers you could find. The fallout from the Super League was pretty dramatic this week. Arsenal fans protested in their thousands outside the Emirates Stadium in an attempt to get their owners, the Cronkies, out of the football club. Meanwhile, Tottenham fans were doing a slightly similar thing over at their stadium.
That was crazy. I've never actually experienced that sort of atmosphere at a game before. It's absolutely electric, the passion.
Now, Spotify's Swedish owner, Daniel Ek, has announced his intentions to buy Arsenal this week. He's an Arsenal fan and obviously a very successful businessman, and he's attempting to do it with the help of Arsenal legends Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira and Thierry Thierry Henry. You're gonna have fans buying Spotify Premium just so they can fund the next summer transfer window. It's no wonder Ty wears headphones 24/7. He's trying to do his bit for the club. I'll be honest, Spotify Wrapped is probably gonna look a lot different this year. Meanwhile, over on TalkSport, and Ray Parlour appeared to just drill into Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV repeatedly about the fact that Robbie and AFTV would consistently want Arsenal to lose so they can get more views on YouTube. Now, whilst I'm sure they do get more views when that happens, at this point in the channel's popularity and at this point in the business's life cycle, 100,000 views more on YouTube is going to make literally zero difference to them at this stage. Claiming AFTV are the embarrassments of the club is bold when they seem to be embarrassing themselves just fine. It's been far from ideal on the pitch for Arsenal after a 1-0 loss at the hands of Everton. Richarlison's celebration, though, after an own goal that he had a slight part to play in. Where's the shame, man? It was a shocking match decided by an even more shocking goal, but at least Fabian Delph provided some sort of quality. A no-look pass in that position. The cheek of the man. Championship side Brentford have come up with a new unique way to kick off matches. Oh, wow! Meanwhile, over in France, and the Ars versus Brest debate is surely done at this point. In the Bundesliga now, and in a game between Union Berlin and Werder Bremen, it's fair to say this Union Berlin attacker woke up in a purely violent mood. In Scotland, and Rangers had their cup final plans ruined by St Johnstone, and pretty much in truth by their own goalkeeper, Zander Clark, who won a knockdown for a header to get an assist for their equalising goal, and then went on to save 2 penalties in the resultant shootout. Whilst winning 4-0 against Wolves this weekend, Burnley decided they needed to take it to the corner flag in additional time. I just don't think it was required, lads, if I'm gonna be honest with you. In Spain, and it's a wonder Barcelona even managed to beat Getafe, given the size of their defenders. Meanwhile, Toronto FC and a crocodile managed to get onto their training ground. Naturally, the Toronto players decided to start kicking footballs out. What could possibly go wrong? There's the news that Julian Nagelsmann will be leaving RB Leipzig come the end of the season to take the vacant coaching role at Bundesliga rivals Bayern Munich. These lot hated the Super League idea. They're creating a one-team Super League over in Germany. You could argue that we're buying everybody, because Bayern. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
É na Band. E craque na Band só tem o da massa. Que é isso, hein? Que intimidade é essa, hein, papai?
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. In Portugal, and a reporter was assaulted by a coach during an interview this week. To be honest, this is what I do with FIFA commentators who start repeating themselves. He's done it! It's 3 of the best! I said this last week, don't beat up referees, but now don't beat up reporters. Closer to home, and the Premier League have announced their new Hall of Fame for former players who have changed the English game. And the first 2 inductees were Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer. However, I found this third inclusion perhaps a little bit more odd. Watford and Norwich have been promoted back to the Premier League. Watford's local rivals, Luton Town, tweeted a while ago when they beat Watford in the Championship for them to stick that on Ben Foster's GoPro. If you don't know, Ben Foster is a vlogger on YouTube as well. Watford's reply was simply beautiful. It's a shithousery award for them. Meanwhile, Peterborough United fans celebrated a little bit too early in promotion. Having been 2-0 up, they started letting off flares in the town. They were then pegged back to 2-2, and now they've got to wait till next week to get promoted. League 2 Cheltenham Town, however, were well within their rights to start celebrating. I don't know whether to be scared or impressed. Jose Mourinho posted this picture on the anniversary of Steven Gerrard's slip against Chelsea in 2014 about possession football. You don't even possess a job right now, lad. In Spain, and Rayo Vallecano supporters started a deep clean of their stadium after right-wing politicians were seen inside the ground watching a game. They'd have an aneurysm if they supported Millwall. In Bulgaria, a newly crowned Bulgarian Player of the Year Dimitar Iliev has missed 2 absolute sitters in 2 weeks. Eden Hazard must have been in the crowd again, you see. Former Manchester United winger Ryan Giggs has been charged with the assault of 2 separate women this week. The man's got more convictions than average goal contributions per year. But now, with the moment you've all been waiting for, over in Romania, the Euro 2020 trophy made a trip over to our beloved nation this week, and naturally it didn't really go to plan. They've done more damage to UEFA competition than the Super League ever did. Over in Brazil and Sao Paulo,
Vivo fibra adestrado.
fair challenge in my opinion, he's gone for the ball. In Uruguay, and one Peñarol fan got their favourite player tattooed on them. His name's Nacho Lores. Unfortunately for said fan, that player is now signed for their mortal enemies, Club Nacional in Uruguay instead.
Abrir el centro por la izquierda, balón para Gómez. Se comió literalmente la pelota. El defensor quedó aturdido, no echan el esférico, le pega Flores, le rebotó el gol.
In Paraguay, and one player was left needing a mask on his face because he was kicked during celebrations by one of his teammates during a goal. Meanwhile in Spain, and we've got this wonderful interception.
Información.com. Y atención, tenemos ahí espectador nuevo en el ciudad de Tudela.
Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is the segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And would you believe it, we've got some actual ability on show this week. On to the weird stuff though now. In La Liga, and in a game between Sevilla and Granada, the referee accidentally blew for full time 1 minute too early. He then had to call the players back out of the dressing room again to complete the remaining minute of the match. Could you imagine if he'd not realised till later on? Would have been a bit awkward really. Oh, great win, boys. Absolutely buzzing with that one. Now, hey lads, how we doing? So, got a bit of explaining to do. Over in Hungary, I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on here, fam. Why are there so many bananas? Why is there so much shouting at these bananas? And finally, in Scotland, it was a convincing victory for Rangers' women's side this weekend. Just the 11-0 victory for them. And it was against Forfar Farmington. You're taking the piss. You're begging me to call you farmers. They're called Farmington, bro. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.